Good evening, folks. I'm going to attempt, I say, to do a monologue tonight after I get this chili off my face. There are many things in this world I just don't understand. One thing I don't understand very well are judges. Think about the most arrogant person you can possibly imagine. You know, some guy who makes you mow his lawn before you set foot into his beautiful, immaculate home. Imagine you're out on a little date with your little wife, it's kind of like a, cute little brown mouse just scurrying about. The chefs and people are getting all up in arms. The maitre d's pissed off. It's going, hey, get these little cute little black brown mice. Get them the fuck out of my restaurant. So, but you got to understand something, If you go into a restaurant, say you and your lovely wife. She probably looks more like a brown mouse than she does like a black mouse. Black mice tend to be a little more masculine. So, chances are you're the one who looks more like the black mouse. And I lost track of that, but say you and your beautiful young lady, you go into a restaurant, You pay a bunch of money for that food. You're in a nice restaurant, you're paying $100 a plate, right? You're thinking to yourself, hey man, if a guy in a courtroom who's a judge can be allowed to have a gavel and tell everybody else to shut the hell up, a guy like myself, high school football coach, no biggie, wife from a local modeling agency. And we're having a nice dinner. $100 plate dinner, by the way. And you're going, hey, where's my fucking gavel, huh? You call over somebody, you're going, hey man, you can tell your boss to suck on it, because this steak I ordered medium rare. And you cooked it, extra fucking rare. So take that shit away. Give me another steak. And you can talk that way because you're paying for the shit. You're paying a lot of money for that, you understand? $100 a plate. You and your lovely wife. Always acne on her face. Always acne. You tell her time and time again, being the arrogant prick that you are, you're going, honey, you just need to use some fucking whatever the commercials and shit say to do. Just put that shit on your face and get rid of all the pimples. You're 37 years old now, honey. You don't need to look like you're still in high school. And then she will kick you in the balls, which you will deserve. Because you've got just as many pimples as she does. You just cover it up with facial hair like this. Right? You cover up you cover up a lot of shit with facial hair, man. If you're like me, like myself, you're not just covering up pimples. You're covering up for murders that you committed 35 plus years ago. Right? Cold, dead-end murder trials. So you're in a courtroom and you're looking at this fella, and they call him a judge. First thing you notice about the judge when he walks in, everybody stands up. And then when he sits down, everybody continues to stand up. And if you don't like it, you can fuck yourself. Because the cops in there doing the security and whatnot, if you don't want, if you want to sit down on your fat ass and let this other fat ass dude sit down as well, you want to meet him face to face, man to man, you know, as this other similar being in our universe, you understand? That's what you're seeing in his face. You're a big-time hotshot attorney, right? You fucking make 6 figures, right? Your buddy Jim, last time you went figure skating, he made 8 figures, whatever. But Jim's going, hey man, so you're a judge, let's say. Your buddy Jim, you and your buddy Jim are having a few. You know, have a few O'Douls, you know, kick back, watch the soccer game, whatever. Your buddy Bill Mulligan's going, hey, sir, your honor, I should say, you are an arrogant prick. No offense to you, my friend. I'm just pointing out the most obvious thing to most people. Why do you have that black cloak on, sir? Are you about ready to go, you know, lead a congregation of Satanists into the black mass or whatnot? Because that's how you're dressed, my friend. And then you go to trial. You go to trial. And you have to keep a straight face when you look at this dildo. You keep a face. And yes, you can call him a dildo. I can call him a dildo. Anybody can. Because without us, he ain't got no job. You understand? That's probably not true. But anyway, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the mind of a person who's totally cool and calm and collected when a bunch of people are standing while he's sitting down wearing a black cloak. You know, it looks like he's a fucking extra in the movie Eyes Wide Shut. You know, all he's missing is the creepy mask and, you know, hood on his cloak. He's got that big black thing draped over him. He's got a gavel, banging on the wood with it, which is really annoying. He's going, hey, I don't like the way what you just said about my grandmother. You're going into the fucking slammer. Officer, sergeant, whatever the fuck you are, take this asshole into the fucking slammer. Immediately. What was that? Sir? Oh, I think you meant, what did you mean to say again, officer? Listen, I know you missed a couple hours last week because your wife has this acne issue that you're talking about, and she kicked you in the balls, and you deserved it. Because you have acne too, my friend. It's just covered up by your facial hair. Anyway, get him the fuck out of here. So they take you, they put you in chains. Maybe. See, all you have to do is just attempt. Even if you if you were in a trial in a courtroom during a trial or hearing, right? You do something as innocuous as try to just beat the shit out of the judge because he's being real arrogant and annoying, and you just want to see his blood because you're insane. Okay. A lot of people are insane. But if you attempt to punch that judge right in the mouth, you ain't going nowhere except the slammer, young fella. And everybody else is pretty cool about that. Now, when you're in a courtroom, correct, for a trial or hearing, everybody in the whole place is dressed like, and they're acting like they're at a funeral. However, instead of them, looking upon this great patriarch of this family going back thousands, even millions of years back to the Stone Age folks that, used to do his line of work. You know, people who used to be a barber back in the Stone Age. This old man that you felt so much kinship with as you spent hours upon hours chatting with this old fella about rice and, you know, like rice and shit. You know, he's eating rice. He's talking about rice. Only thing he knows anything about is rice. But he was a beautiful barber. He was. So you're admiring this beautiful man who took time out of his day, his hectic, busy schedule, where he was either eating rice or growing rice or just admiring it from afar. And you say to yourself, he wasn't just admiring it from afar. He had some and he'd put it under a fucking microscope and shit. Then he'd look at it and think it was a bunch of bugs. Because he was out of his fucking mind. That's what the guy's brother-in-law is going to say to you. Okay, kick his ass. But not the judge. This is the difference. If somebody smarts off to you during a funeral, you can kick the shit out of them. But you try to hit a judge. Hey, everybody, listen, everybody's on the same level playing field. You know, in reality, the way that we understand the world, you understand, as fellow human beings, correct? We are all really on the same level playing field. But a guy with an ego the size of China, plus Thailand, plus the whole rest of the fucking world. A man with an ego the size of a galaxy. Yeah? He's going to say, well, I mean, I knew a few guys who live out in the other further corners of the galaxy, you know. We'd hang out and drink a few and, you know, talk about baseball and shit, bowling or whatever the hell. Talk about different things, how to get rid of acne on our face. Or even better yet, how to just mask it, to cover it up with facial hair, you understand. So you're doing all that. He's talking to these people and he's becoming this thing he sees in his mind, this man who he merely would walk into the room and everybody else has to stand up and he gets to sit down. And everybody else keeps standing and they call him Your Honor, right? That man has an ego. A massive one. Doesn't matter if he knows those people or not. If you went into a restaurant, right, correct? You pay $100, $200 a plate for food that you're not comfortable eating because of your bowel habits. Or your wife, you know, being a slut or whatever the reason is. You don't want it. You don't need it. You understand? This ego feeding type of thing. But he needs it. He's sitting up higher than everybody else. Yeah. That's called a throne when they do that shit. It may not be golden. May not be covered with Christmas tinsel and shit. There's no man sitting there with a big, long, 30-foot long, you know, beard just rolling out over into the distance, into the echoes of humanity in our living, celestial living time of need. Correct? Yeah? You're going, that's not the Lord. That's a dude. We call him a judge. Judge. That's right. And of course, if a judge says something, you are obliged to not only take it into account, you know, you also have to pretend that you agree with him. And if you disagree with a judge about something, could be something as simple as, hey, fucking that Buffalo Wild Wings place has a lot tastier hot wings than the fucking Chili's down the street. Judge helped build that Chili's. Whoever the company was, whoever the person was who had the bright idea to build a Chili's restaurant, the judge gave him some money and said, you will make way the fuck better hot wings than our competition down the road, the Buffalo Wild Wings, you know what I'm saying? They will be better. And if somebody doesn't understand that and express that to the judge, and if he in any way that he thinks you're being, inappropriate, even the attorney, listen, folks, usually, when you go into a room at the strip club, a room at the McDonald's, a room at any fucking place, go to some homeless guy's fucking, wife's house and shit, watch a bunch of like little ferrets and shit run around all over the place while she's listening to fucking Madonna's greatest hits or whatever the hell. You go over to this sacred place, this much revered holy establishment such as this, and you say to the man's wife, I was just in the courtroom, and I'm an attorney. And guess what? I don't believe I see any judges anywhere around here, do I? Any judges that I need to know about in this room? Oh, no. No judges. And I'm an attorney. Great. You all can kiss my ass and do whatever the hell I tell you. But when a judge calls a counselor to his chambers, you understand, if the lawyer says something as simple as, sir, this is not Halloween, all right, why are you wearing that stupid get-up, the black cloak thing? It's old and outdated. It was outdated in the motherfucking 70s when, blah, 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 on the TV and whatnot, and the ladies, and the men, those folks, those days, those hoppingly fantastical days, and the glory of the Lord below. So you got this satanic, Satan-worshipping judge. And you live in the Bible Belt, and you think, this judge is a Satanist, and I'm a Christian in the Bible Belt. I could wipe the floor with this motherfucker. And the Lord above, he would cheer me on while I'm beating the shit out of this devil-worshipping judge, dude. And folks, I mean, you go to a funeral, they got all kinds of food. You go to a funeral anywhere, no matter who died, you got 50, 60 women in that church who've all been cooking since they were 2 years old. They're in there, they're making shit from scratch. They're throwing pizza dough up in the air and catching it, making these specialty hot dogs with all beef franks and shit. Making little s'mores type treats and shit. And you're going, man, this is going to be great. We're going to have all this extra food. Oh no. Who but the judge has just walked into the room? You think you're going to get an all-beef hot dog tonight when the judge is in the room? Not if he wants to eat all the all-beef hot dogs. If he decides, hey, those all-beef hot dogs look tasty, I'm going to eat them. Then you have to go, okay, you're the judge, you're swimming laps around me in terms of ego. I was the biggest, as a successful attorney, I was the biggest ego maniac in the room until this fella showed up. So thank you, Judge. Thank you for being here and reminding us that we are shit.